Thank you for supporting our journalism. This article is available exclusively for our subscribers, who help fund our work at the Sun Sentinel. Q. I can envision Goran Dragic taking on Udonis Haslem's OG role and salary next year after all his injuries, basically retiring rather than getting traded, so he can remain with Miami and his buddy Jimmy Butler. Michael, Boca Raton. First, based on how he has performed this season when healthy, as he showed Friday against the Jazz, it is clear that Goran Dragic has plenty left in his tank to remain a rotation player beyond this season. Perhaps well beyond. But you still might be onto something. If the Heat do opt to utilize salary cap space this offseason, either for a free agent or in a trade, I certainly could see an accommodation by Goran to accept a small deal to continue with the Heat. In fact, I almost wonder if the $18 million the Heat are paying Goran this season is a way of averaging out a 2-year deal, should they ask him to return for one of the smaller exceptions in 2021-22, to basically make the deal he signed in November into something along the lines of 2 years, $20 million plus, when bypassing next season's team option. Beyond that, it will be curious to see what happens when, if the Heat enter the trade market, considering how Jimmy Butler has stressed his devotion to specific teammates, such as Goran and Tyler Herro. Would the Heat make a deal that could be off-putting to Jimmy? Or would creating a stronger roster be the ultimate appeasement for Jimmy? Considering how Jimmy continues to stamp his imprint as the team leader, trade consultation might not be out of the question. And he continues to make it clear that he's all in when it comes to Goran. Q. Like I said, there was just something about that West trip, something about that Lakers game. This is a different Heat team than the one that started the season. Bubble hangover? Injuries? COVID-19 protocol? New mix of players? Whatever. This team has found its Heat culture. Bernardo, Fort Lauderdale. Perhaps it's all of it. Or perhaps it was the missteps that delivered the impetus needed for change. Friday was a game like no other this season, in terms of execution. But the recent games also have shown a resilience not seen earlier this season. Now when leads are trimmed, there is line being drawn, something we've seen throughout this winning streak and certainly on Friday against the Jazz. Q. As Kendrick Nunn keeps having success in the starting position, where do you see Tyler Herro fitting in the long run? Do you see him as a Lou Williams-type sixth man, or do you see him moving into the starting spot in the future? Nate, Jupiter.